Hello and welcome to Championship Weekend. It is Royal Rumble weekend. I'm sure we'll get into everything. And by the time you're watching this show, your house might be covered in snow if you live in New Jersey. Might only be a dusting. Nobody knows. Somewhere between 2 inches and 25 feet is what we'll be getting, according to all major news outlets. I am your host, Nick. Alongside me are my 3 co-hosts, permanent co-hosts, as always. Will never change. Will always be us 4 forever and ever.
Yeah.
We will go around the horn. Sir, the 4 horsemen, I guess you could say, another wrestling pun, but we'll go, sir. How we doing?
Good, man. I'm good. We still here, fellas. We still here. We still in the building. Let's go.
I can't imagine why you're in such a good mood. Scott, how we doing?
Good. Like I said last week, it's hockey season, so Penguins are looking good. Just signed Jeff Carter to a 2-year extension.
Nice.
Who?
That's a hockey player. They play on the ice. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. We, believe it or not, just saw the Super Bowl of playoff games last week. Just unbelievable action. You're never going to see that shit again. 4 walk-off victories in a row. Like, that's all you can ask for as a fan. I'll tell you what, with no stake in the game, it was very, very exciting.
I know we're going to run through the 4 games, but before we do, Scott, any shows coming down the line? I know Fred from Mark's Side of the Ring is going to be discussing, obviously, this upcoming Royal Rumble and everything involved. It's actually wide open, not to go over his show. He's going to do his own show, but I can't. It's very seldom is there a Royal Rumble where there really is no clear defined favorite going in, and I'm excited to watch it for that simple reason, alone. And the women's, I feel like, is always up for grabs. Maybe a rumor to return, maybe a rumor surprise. But I'm looking forward to hearing what Fred thinks because, of course, nobody knows more than him.
Nick, do yourself a favor. Do not go on the dark web of wrestling gambling sites because it will ruin it for you very quickly. I didn't look, but one of my friends did, and I had to shut his podcast off real quick before he spoiled it for me. But there is a definitive favorite in the women's Rumble. I'll say that.
I think I know who you're alluding to, but honestly, they continue to change things up time and time again, and I think they've grown pretty smart or savvy to the fact that people check that kind of stuff, and very often over the last couple of years, whoever is favored going in does not necessarily always win. And of course, there's always a rumored surprise return, maybe a returning former champion in the women's Rumble coming back now that she's no longer pregnant with a child, coming back and defending her belt and winning the Rumble, maybe in the same event that she debuted. But,
it's a swerve, bro. It's a swerve.
Yeah, it doesn't. I wouldn't until it happens. I wouldn't bank on it.
Don't worry. I'm gonna break some news here. I am not in the Royal Rumble this year. So don't.
There you go.
Well, Mark Henry's not in a Rumble? Some bullshit.
And since for the last 45 seconds, we've been speaking another language to Scott.
Is the Brooklyn Brawler in the Rumble this year?
He could do it.
I'm not watching unless the Brooklyn Brawler is in.
Well, we'll see you at Saturday at 2:00. You'll drink so much that you think the Brooklyn Brawler. You will be like our buddy Lachowski asking, "Where's the Brooklyn Brawler?"
Would you watch if Abe Knuckleball Schwartz was involved?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
That's
what do we have him on the show? Oh, I mean,
Scott, any shows coming down the line for TruExact?
No, nothing crazy. Just same as last week. We do have a video dropping tomorrow for us on Got the Juice. It's really cool. On zero budget, you'll like what we did. If you watch the show Lock and Key on Netflix, we did a concept of that, which is pretty cool. It came out awesome. But that's it. Yeah, I'm ready to talk football for a couple weeks and then go back to my shell.
I think we'll go in reverse order. We'll start with the game that was on everybody's mind. And really, we're, 4 or 5 days since the game has been completed. So obviously, there's no sense in really breaking it down game or, play by play. But the one question I'd want to ask you guys, which I think will turn into maybe some kind of a debate, is the overtime rules. And I know, Buffalo never had a chance to get the ball back in overtime. They ended up losing the game. Kansas City marched right down the field. They scored the touchdown to Travis Kelce. Moving on to the AFC Championship game, leaving Buffalo in the cold. Would you change the overtime rules? Do you agree with the overtime rules? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, go on, Tim. Sorry.
To be honest, they made an extra week in the regular season, which I never thought they would do because they're always so concerned about player safety that I never thought they would change the overtime rule. But it takes something like this to happen where I think they have to take a real hard look at it. I mean, if I'm a Buffalo fan, I'm just absolutely gutted and disgusted that it's like one of the things whoever has the ball last is going to win. And unfortunately, that's what happened. But normally you'd like to see the other team, get a chance to rebuttal as they had been doing easily up until then.
I agree with Tim. However, you could look at we're a reactionary world. You know how it is. This doesn't happen if it's a 13-6, 7 game. Nobody complains if Mahomes comes down and scores. You've seen this before. Nobody complained when Tim Tebow threw a slant route and they beat the Steelers. So I think it was just the type of game it was, the two quarterbacks involved. How do you change it? What would you do? Do a whole extra quarter? And then what happens if it's tied at the end? Like, you can't do college rules. That's stupid. So honestly, I wouldn't change it because you had 4 quarters to win. The Bills had 13 seconds to stop Mahomes. And gun to my head, I wouldn't change it because I don't think there's a better alternative. However, it does suck. So
to be honest, I think the easiest solution would so they changed it to where if it's a field goal, the other team gets a chance. Just make both teams have to have a possession, and that's it. Keep it the way that it is, and just add that little one note. I think that's the easiest solution.
What happens if it goes 7-7? Now what? Then they're going to say, well, Allen didn't get to touch it twice.
Next score wins. I mean, but that's
then you're
at
back
least
I got a brilliant idea. How about a defense make a stop? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Come on, if you want overtime, it's sudden death. If you give up a touchdown, you lose. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, just make a stop. Buffalo, you were one of the top tier defenses in all football. How about you stop them from getting in the end zone?
It's true, sir. Your point's true, but the problem is, so under the current NFL overtime rules, there have been 11 overtime playoff games. Teams that won the overtime coin toss have a record of 10-1 in those games, winning 90.9% of the time. 7 of the 10 winners scored a touchdown on the opening drive of overtime. So 70% of the time, that other team never even gets a chance to see the ball. Well, however they get to overtime, I would agree with Tim. I think that would be the best way to do it. For the simple fact that I think it's the most fair. I actually like college overtime rules, but I know it's not realistic. The problem is that when it comes to player safety, the NFL doesn't really make a lot of changes. When it comes to more football, which is more revenue, the NFL makes multiple changes, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day in their eyes. So more football is always a good thing. So if it's 7-7 and then the overtime quarter ends, they're going to obviously in the playoffs they're going to redo it again. They're going to redo it again. They're going to redo it again. But I agree with Tim. That would be the way that I would do it.
As you guys mentioned the college rules, I would only see that change happening in the playoffs. Regular season, leave it the way it is because but in the playoffs, if you want to change it, make the college style, whereas each I can see that in playoffs, but in regular season, leave it the way it is.
I would go with Tim as well. Now that I think about it, because at least the team who scores has a chance to go for 2 and win. So they really they do have the option to win the game there. The second team that scores can go for 2. So they can't complain if then the other team comes and scores. It's hey, you should have went for 2 if you thought your defense couldn't make a stop. So that probably is the best bet. And this is a league, like I said, is reactionary. They did change the interference rule the 1 year after the Saints guy got interfered with. They tested it out. I do think you'll see it change this offseason, and they'll experiment it at least for 1 year and see what happens. I really think you will see a change. A side note, what was depressing, realizing maybe for Tim, Nick, and I, how far off our teams are from being that good. Even the Cowboys, I thought all year, man, this team could compete. And then just watching that, it's yeah, my team is not really anywhere near this. Kind of sad.
No. Yeah, I think to your point. Well, first of all, just in general, ties in any sport are just ridiculous.
Yeah,
they just suck. Whether it be hockey, obviously you can't tie in baseball. You can't tie in baseball, but football.
Unless it's the All-Star game.
Yeah, unless it's the All-Star. I was going to make that joke, but yeah, it's just one of those things where it just ties in general are pretty pointless to me.
Yeah.
Draws in UFC. I don't know if UFC has them, but in boxing, draw.
Yeah.
Just draws.
You just put the gloves on, fight one more round, play an extra inning, play another quarter. Just figure it out. There's got to be.
Ties really suck in sports betting too, right, sir?
That's also like you look at something like the World Cup where they go to penalty kicks in the World Cup. Like you are in the most possibly arguably the most coveted trophy in the world, right? Like every 4 years and it gets decided by PKs. Come on. Like that's like field goal kicks deciding the Super Bowl. So they
just keep backing them up.
If this was WFAN, that would be the part where somebody would play Nobody Cares About You.
Yeah, I try, right?
All right. Well, I mean, besides that game, which was obviously pretty entertaining, I got to be honest, the other three were kind of snooze fests for the first three quarters.
There was like exciting ball games. What you talking about?
They were kind of boring up until the final quarter, and in some instances, just the final few minutes of the game were really where it was the most exciting. But I think we all came on the show last week, at least 75% of us, and said, no way, no how. Will the 49ers beat the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field? And to Scott's point, being a very reactionary world that we live in, Aaron Rodgers, the GOAT, 12 hours later, 4 hours after the game later, I should say, a choke artist. He's a choke artist, can't win the big game. Eli Manning's better. Peyton Manning's better. This guy's better. Nick Foles has as many championships. The yada, yada, yada. All that to say, sir, I feel like the floor is yours. You might take the modest approach. You might pull a little Muhammad Ali. Don't ever doubt me. What do you have to say?
I tried to tell y'all last week. Don't disrespect my boys. Put some respect on my team's name. And y'all didn't listen, so it's okay. It's okay. We've been getting disrespected all postseason. Let's just keep it going. No worries.
Sir, I'm not even going to jinx you. Jimmy G is still a fucking bag of trash. That is point blank and honest. So I'm not going to change I'm not reactionary at all. I watched the whole game. He was not very good. You guys were lucky to win the game. Now, that being said, your defense did show up and play very, very well. So you can hang your hat on that. And I think that most of us would agree that it had a chance of happening. But man, I'm still listen, I'm stupid stitious. So in your honor, I'm going to keep betting against your boys so that they have a chance to keep winning. You're going to keep betting the over so that your Niners keep winning. It's fine. We'll both lose our bets, but your team might be in the Super Bowl, in 2 weeks.
Listen, first of all, the first half of that game, it wasn't really Jimmy G's fault. It was a couple of drop passes. Yeah. If the receivers catch the ball, his numbers are a lot different. So,
yeah, I just stick to my guns. Jimmy Garoppolo could go 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the Super Bowl and win MVP. I still won't think he's that good. Everyone has a good game. Regardless, Aaron Rodgers, listen, I'll be the first to defend. He did not play well. He deserved criticism in that game. But where do all these idiots come from? It's the problem with social media. There was a Niner fan who was ever since they passed up on Aaron Rodgers is 0-4 versus them. If you could go back, you're taking Aaron Rodgers in that draft. Stop. The society is so stupid. All these people talking shit. If Aaron Rodgers said today, I want to be a Dallas Cowboy, but Mike McCarthy needs to get fired, Jerry Jones would march down to Mike McCarthy's office and literally box up the stuff for him and drive to go get Aaron Rodgers. So would the Niners. So would the Rams. So the 3 out of 4 teams in the playoffs right now would probably take Aaron Rodgers over any quarterback in the NFL. So these fans are so fucking stupid, but that's social media, and that's my plan. I think you all agree with me here. Where do these idiots come from? Out of the
name drop anyone, Scott?
No, no, not even him. Honestly, it's just everybody. You see tweets, and it's not mostly because of his vaccination status or whatever. He did handle it like an idiot.
But he's not. He's just not a likable guy.
He's not. He never was. He was always arrogant as shit too. Very arrogant. But at the same time, he's one of the best we've ever fucking seen, and that doesn't negate it. Like, I don't care. He could have won no Super Bowls. This guy's ability to play the position is incredible. So, like, just appreciate what we're fucking seeing. I say that all the time with guys like LeBron and Brady. Yo, just be a fan. Appreciate what we're seeing. This guy's a legend. There's no need to drag him because he had a bad game. Like, he's still the best. One of the best. It's frustrating, man.
Imagine if Aaron Rodgers played baseball.
Oh,
he would have made the Hall of Fame then.
We'd be talking about another guy.
They certainly wouldn't be making the Hall of Fame if the baseball writers didn't like
because
them.
in order to make the Hall of Fame, you have to be liked.
Yep.
So yeah, it'd be the equivalent to if the NFL voting was like the major leagues, Rodgers wouldn't get in the Hall of Fame. Like, that's sick. It's absolutely sick, you know? But that's my rant.
Oh, I don't like you. You're not getting in. Stop it. Come on.
Don't get me started on the Baseball Hall of Fame. I mean,
we can do a whole nother show on that. Maybe before baseball season.
The dumbest. But you guys are throwing up these softball layups for me for transitions. So you mentioned the greatest of all times, and when they're on TV, you want to watch them. A lot of sports fans, including my father, who's not a big football fan, had to tune in to watch Tampa Bay because there's not many more opportunities to watch Tom Brady. And when you can get to see the GOAT, and he really is, Sir Must, when you get to see the best quarterback of all time play, you want to watch, even when he's at the tail end of his career. And I'm surprised Sir didn't say anything.
Okay, whatever.
Joe Montana.
No, I know what you're saying. Hey, whatever. President of the moment, it's okay.
That being said, 27-3, 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, Tom Brady ties the game up because of course he does.
Yeah.
And, obviously Matt Stafford marches down the field. They kick the field goal. They win the game. Do you think we've seen the last of Tom Brady, and any points of distinction from that game you guys want to discuss?
It would only happen if Tom Brady was a quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that for 1 second. It's like, all he needs is for, the running back to fumble twice and them to throw a pick, and then, of course they're going to sneak it on 4th and 1, and no, they hand it off and score a touchdown. It's like, okay, it's Tom Brady again. But thank God Matthew Stafford threw the ball to Cooper Kupp, because why wouldn't he? No one can fucking cover this guy, apparently, or nobody wanted to cover him. It's amazing. I can't believe you wouldn't double cover the only guy on the field that's going to beat you. That's how I felt.
Yeah, and
yeah, like, as the other team, you should not let Cooper Kupp beat you. Like, let Beckham cook you. Let Van Jefferson get open. Do not let Cooper Kupp get open like that. And
that probably cost Bowles like a head coaching interview or job. Like, it really could have. Just that play. Like, what are you doing? I know Arians came to his defense, but Brady, I think, will retire. But like Tim said, it just, of course it would happen. Like, I'm texting my brother watching. It's like, no way he could do this. Like, and you still have to make the plays after the plays happen. And a lot of quarterbacks don't make the plays. And it's just incredible being 44 years old, like, just doing it at a high level. And the way, like, the NFL is, it's a perfect script that it was Stafford who's looked at as a unlucky choker, which I never believed. I always thought Stafford was an elite quarterback. And then Brady, who's the greatest of all time. It's like, oh no, Matt, this can't happen. Because he would have gotten blamed, and it would have been like, this isn't his fault, damn it. That's where the playoff record gets thrown out. You're not 1-4. Your team sucks. But good for Stafford. I'm happy for him. I'll be rooting for him, even though I don't care who wins. I'm actually okay with all 4 of these teams. I'm happy about that. I don't care who wins the Super Bowl. I don't have a hatred for anyone.
I'd rather see the Bulls.
Wait, Scott, don't lie, Scott. Don't you lie.
I don't know
if my boys get in there.
I really
hear that
don't.
Jimmy G talk.
But I don't think he's good. Nothing will ever convince me of that. So I don't care. I don't hate the Niners, though. I really don't hate the Niners. I don't have this. I hate the Giants. That's really it. That's honestly, I have a distinct hatred for the Giants. That's it. No,
you hate the Giants, or you hate Giants fans? It's a little different, right?
Probably fans. I don't hate Eagle fans. I don't hate the Eagles. I like McNabb. I always thought he was a good quarterback. I like Cunningham, Fred Barnett. I liked all those players.
I guess the world wants to know, Scott, if it's true that you're an avid Dallas fan, and it's true that you do not hate Eagles fans. The world wants to know, why did you defriend me on Facebook 10 years ago?
I don't know. I really don't know how I friended you on Facebook 10 years ago. Honestly, we probably were friends because we met each other at like Dan's Bound Brook house. And like we probably met and just friended each other. And then I was like, yeah, I don't know who this kid is, so I'm going to defriend him.
I think we played basketball together, and then you forgot that Nick played basketball with us.
Maybe.
There's no way I played basketball with Scott.
No, I don't think I ever played ball. I remember everyone I played basketball with, like from your crew. Never that. So that's all.
Me too, only because I've only played the game 3 times.
And it shows.
Anything on the Raiders and the Bengals? Was that the game? No, what was it? It was Bengals and Titans. Anything on the Bengals?
One thing. Do you move on from Tannehill after that?
Who are they going to move on to? Though?
I don't know. But if you're a fan, are you looking for anybody here? Would you draft a quarterback? Would you?
A couple of those interceptions were tips.
Aaron Rodgers? Imagine Rodgers with Derrick Henry's running game. Just
I don't know. I don't feel like Rodgers is leaving Green Bay this trade. He's going out west. Not to the Raiders.
Probably going to Denver. I mean,
going to Denver because they just hired his offensive coordinator.
That helps.
So I think maybe he brings Devontae Adams with him.
That would suck. Devontae Adams goes in a trade to Denver. Jerry Jeudy is absolutely going to Green Bay, and then it's the Jerry Jeudy and Jordan Love show.
You know what though? You understand the haul they would get for those two. Like, oh man, that would be like what? 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. Like, that's a big haul back to where you almost would. It's almost you can't turn it down with what Denver would offer. You'd almost not be able to turn it down.
It would be interesting.
It would be interesting. I'm looking forward to these 2 games coming up, and obviously, I guess it is time. There's not much left to do when there's only 2 games to talk about. Might as well start going through them, and Scott will hit the music and go through the recap.
All right. Well,
much like my picks, I will just not be around for it. So take it away.
Like I said, it's short-lived, so I'm not even going to put up the standings thing, but I'll just say I'm I'm 5-5. Tim's 4-6. Sir 3-6-1, and Nick got a abysmal 1-9.
So here's the deal. No, hold on a minute. 1-9 is just as impressive as 9-1.
You're not wrong about that. And honestly, we were really close to losing the KC game. It was a lucky over. So we all have just been not good. Playoffs are hard. So we're going to go with DraftKings right now with their lines. I looked them up right before the show. First game, we got Cincinnati at Kansas City. Kansas City a -7 with the over-under 54.5. I guess I'll start here since I'm kind of in the lead. Man, I really want to pick Cincinnati here. I have been riding the Chiefs for a few weeks. I've said no one's beaten them since week 18. I think it's going to be a 1-score game till 2 minutes left, and Butker will put in a field goal to make it a 2-score game, maybe 29-20. So I'm going to take the Chiefs in a -7 here. It's just hard to bet against Mahomes. And I think the worst thing that happened was the Bengals actually beat the Chiefs earlier, and that's going to be hard to beat them twice, especially this time in Kansas City. But hats off to the Bengals if they win. I'll be rooting for them because that's a cool story. So
the Cinderella story is ending here, Scott. I'm with you. I got Kansas City -7. I just think Kansas City is too complete of a team. I know they didn't really do a good job of stopping Josh Allen like I thought they might have, and nobody could stop anybody in that fourth quarter. So I don't know. I loved how cocky Joe Burrow is, so I don't think he's going to play necessarily bad as you would think a first-time playoff guy would be in the biggest game he's ever played in. But I picked KC to win the whole thing from the start of the year, so I gotta stick with him.
The last time these 2 teams played, the score was 34-31. For y'all math majors out there, that's 65 points. I expect more of the same. Give me over 54.5. Like, I kind of want to lean Cincinnati because it's 7 points, and think it's going to be a one-score game, but when in doubt, just bet the over. Also, KC's also 5-1 against the spread as a road dog, but that's a interesting little note. But give me the over. I like points.
So I'll make one more wrestling reference, and this one goes back to WrestleMania 19. Sorry, Scott. Where
is that the one Big John Studd won?
No. Triple H had a feud with Booker T for the World Heavyweight Championship, and the storyline was built on the fact that Booker T was a WCW guy, and in no place should a WCW guy be involved with the game. The cerebral assassin, at the time, however many time champion, had Ric Flair in his corner. Everything was great. And the week before, earlier in the year, Booker T pinned Triple H, very similar to the Cincinnati Bengals beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Ric Flair is trying to hype up Triple H, and he's saying, you're the best, you're the greatest, you're the game, you're the champ. You're the guy that's meant to win. You're the guy that's going to win. And Triple H just looks at Ric Flair and says, but nobody told Booker T that. And I feel like that's how it kind of is. If you look at Joe Burrow and you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, like nobody told them that they're not supposed to win. Nobody told them that they're not supposed to be here. Nobody told them that there's no way they can go to Arrowhead and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if I'm necessarily taking them to win the game, but I'll take them plus the 7 points. So I will go Cincinnati plus 7, which will probably put me at 1-10 at this point, but that's my pick.
Maybe 1-9-1.
So the next game, the NFC Championship for sir, we got San Francisco at LA. I expect this to be mostly San Fran, actually, in the stands. We got LA minus 3.5, over under 45.5. Little wrestling story of my own. When I was watching Dean Malenko, the man of 1,000 moves.
Armbar.
And Chris Jericho wore an outfit that was the man of 1,004 moves, and he read every move on a long sheet of paper. And I chalked this up to Shanahan being the man of 1,000 moves, but McVay being the man of 1,004 moves. See, that's where my quick mind comes in, Nick. I just thought of that.
There you go. I like it.
So even though Shanahan is plus, or what is he, 6-0 versus McVay, which is incredible. And that hook 3.5 really hurts me because I want to take the Niners here. But I actually said the Rams would make the Super Bowl from the beginning, so I'm just going to stick with them, much like Tim's sticking with the Chiefs. I'm going to go Rams minus 3.5, 24-20. Stafford finally gets there. But I honestly, I could see the Niners getting here. I think this is a coin flip of the game. So I'll just go Rams 3.5.
Scott, not only am I on the same side as you, I cannot pick this game with you, though. I need to make up ground. And with that being said, forget about what I said before. James G is the best quarterback in this game. It's his time to shine, sir. I got you, baby. I got you. And that's not only because I have the Rams to win the Super Bowl as well. That would be a terrific matchup for me head-to-head, so I will jinx everything in Sir's being, and I'm going San Fran, getting 3.5. I hope they win 10-7, sir. I hope it's fine. Good.
That'd be a horrible game.
Why are you trying to jinx me, old boy? You know what I'm saying? Pimpin'. Come on. Well, I got to reverse the jinx, so again, I've been working it all season. Give me over 45.5. That's it. But there are some interesting notes. Like, it is tough to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. Sanford has beat the Rams twice already. Shanahan has a good record against McVay. So we'll see. It should be a good ball game. And San Fran is going to probably take over that stadium again. So they're going to show up and show out. Hey, we'll see. That stadium should be rocking. Should be rocking.
5th NFC Championship in 10 years for the Niners. That's right.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Screw you.
But usually in 4 of those games, the refs have cost us. So it's okay.
Right. Oh, here we go. You ready for the show next week?
We'll see. Hey, we'll see what happens. Hey, listen, we still in it, brother. We still here.
Facts.
Nick, where are you going with this one?
So now I'm going to take you back to WrestleMania 25. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm just going to take the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're a better team. I think to Sir's point, the stadium's going to be filled 70% with Niner fans. It's one of those weird things where I think if Tampa Bay ended up winning, I would have been very big for Tampa Bay to beat the Niners. I think that, they just matched up differently. I think the Niners have just beaten the Rams already. I think the Rams, just coming off that game to Tom Brady, tried to find every way possible to lose the game. And I just think quarterback-wise, I think the Rams are, they have the better quarterback. They have pretty similar playmakers. I love Deebo Samuel, but they have pretty similar playmakers. And I think the defense, obviously the Rams are star-studded, but I just have a feeling that the Niners are going to beat them. So that's where I'm going.
I just want to say one thing. I think it's a joke that the Rams were trying to not have the Niner fans buy tickets to the game. Come on. What y'all worried about? You know what I'm saying? If you're really confident in your fan base, you shouldn't have to put it out there don't sell your tickets to Niner fans, which made Niner fans go out there and buy more tickets.
Yeah, I think that's stupid in any aspect. If you're a fan and you want to go to a game, you shouldn't be restricted because of your zip code. It's stupid.
How about if you don't want other teams' fans to come to your stadium, don't build the stadium in LA where nobody gives a fuck about your team. And there's a million other things to do.
Yep. No, you're right. It's like Miami fans, kind of.
Yeah.
What it is.
Well, that was quick.
Niner fans show up to wherever they playing.
Sir, I'd be a little upset if Nick, who's 1-9, picked my team. Right
I don't like it. I don't like the fact that all y'all pick or these two pick because I liked it better when y'all were picking against me. But it's all right.
Nick, we can get into DFS if you want.
Yeah, let's rock out with the DFS, and you are the reigning defending champion that as well. So maybe it's your turn.
2 weeks in a row. Let's just call it like it is. And I'm going to continue riding with Mahomes. 7,400. I'll pair him with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 5,300 at running back. Sony Michel, 4,600. I don't think Akers is going to see a lot of time after his 2 fumbles and nearly blowing the game. So I think Michel is going to get the load of the carries. I'll pair Mahomes with Pringle again, 4,300, and Hill for 7,000. Wide receiver 3, Deebo Samuel, 7,200. Tight end Higbee, 3,700. Defense, I'm actually going to go with San Fran, 2,800. And the flex, I got Jamar Chase, 6,700. I feel like I was able to do well with my money there. So we'll see.
Pretty good. Tim, why don't you kick it?
Scott got pretty similar picks to you, as I think most of us might. But either way, I also went Mahomes, 7,400. I paired him with both Tyreek and Kelsey, 7K and 6,500. Along with that, I took Clyde Edwards at 5,300. I do think they're going to keep rolling with Cam Akers. It's something, he's not fumbling the ball twice again. I think they just have to, he's obviously their best playmaker. There's no reason why, with Sony healthy, he only got 1 touch last week. It's just the eye test says Akers is better, and as long as he doesn't put the ball on the ground, they literally blow out Tampa Bay, which is what I thought was actually going to happen. I also have Jamar Chase as my wide receiver 2 at 6,700. And wide receiver 3, I got T. Higgins at 5,700. Because I went high everywhere else, sir, give me Juwan Jennings, 3,200. I don't care. I know he played the game of his life last week, but I'm, for 3,200, you could do way
2 weeks ago. He was a no-show last week
2
against Green
weeks
Bay.
ago. Sorry. You could do way worse for everyone was fucking trash cans last week. But you could do way worse for $3,200. And to round it out, I am paying up. I'm going with the Rams, 3,200. I really do think Jimmy G is trash. And, well, it is what it is. Sir, I hope for my sake I'm wrong.
It don't matter. He could be trash and they could win. He's proved that all year.
Last time I checked, football is a team game.
I agree. Yes.
There's 3 parts. There's 3 parts of the game. 2 we're clicking on Sunday.
I would give up my
Saturday.
Spot. I would give up my spot if it meant my quarterback had to throw 1 time a game. I'm not bashing you. I would take that.
My defense played lights out. The special teams played lights out.
I would
The
take
offense,
it in a heartbeat. I would take it in a heartbeat. I wish I was in your spot right now.
Yeah. Hey.
I've been since I was 9 years old starting Little League, but it is what it is.
Okay, well, my lineup is pretty much similar to you fellas. So at quarterback, I also went Patrick Mahomes at 7,400. It's Patrick Mahomes. I don't think I need to explain much. Running back, I went CEH at 53. I also went Jet McKinnon. Jared McKinnon, 5,100. He's been getting a lot of targets out of the backfield. He's been putting up some numbers. Wide receiver, I went Deebo Samuel. In 2 games against the Rams, he's put up 30 points. And he's a very big part of their offense. Like run the ball, wide receiver, he does it all. Wide receiver 2, I went Jamar Chase as well, 6,700. Again, he's Jamar Chase. And then wide receiver 3, I went Mr. Beckham at 5,100. A little cheap option. At tight end, I'm going back to the well. I went CJ Uzoma at 3,400 because he's been getting a ton of targets in that offense. Flex, I went Mr. Kelsey at 6,500. And defense, I went my boys again, 2,800. Why not?
So I think Tim touched on a point that he made when he was talking about his lineup, and probably said it without realizing he said it, but he said that I think a lot of us are going to have the same lineups. And I think when you look at only 2-game slates, a lot of teams are going to have a lot of the same lineups. So you're looking at one of those big-time fields with thousands and thousands, maybe even sometimes hundreds of thousands of teams. If there's 100,000, probably 60,000 are going to have Patrick Mahomes. Probably another 20,000 are going to have Joe Burrow, but very few are going to have Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'll start with Jimmy Garoppolo as my quarterback. He's played them twice. He's scored about 15 points in both games. I'll take 15 points. I think the game's going to be a high scoring, and if the Niners are to win, I think they might have to put up a few points. So, one of his picks in the last game they played was that Jalen Ramsey incredible play. So don't even necessarily, he had him in the red zone, could have easily been a touchdown. So I'll start with Jimmy G at 5,400. And because I'm going so cheap on quarterback, obviously I can fill my team out with a little bit more star-studded players. So I'm going Jerick McKinnon, who looks like he's at least the focal point of the Kansas City run defense. We saw what the Bengals have done against running backs, from their defensive side. A lot of running backs putting up a lot of points, a lot of touchdowns. So give me Jerick McKinnon there. I'll also take Mixon for the Bengals at 6,800. My wide receivers is a who's who of elite players, obviously, because I'm spending a lot of money on them. I'm going Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, and Cooper Kupp. Very expensive, but I think all worth it. Cooper Kupp just balled out against San Francisco the last time they played a few weeks ago. Plus Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp. Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill, and Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. I mean, there's really no analytics.
I was like, Cooper Kupp's balled out against everybody.
They're just the guys. But one guy who has been inconsistent but did ball out against the 49ers is my tight end, Tyler Higbee, along with Scott. Very similar. Had a great game against them. And again, trying to differentiate myself from the rest of the crew, I'm going back-to-back tight ends, so I'm taking a tight end in my flex spot, and I'm going with Uzma, who has had 15 or more points in his last 2 games as well. So obviously somebody that Joe Burrow is throwing to. The other thing that plays into this is that is a high over-under. So obviously they think points are going to be scored, which means plays are going to be made by the playmakers, and he's one of them, at least over the last 2 weeks. Lastly, along with Sir, could be the what's it called? The death blow to Sir's team, but I'm taking their defense. 2,800. It's what I could afford, but I'm going the Niners defense. I think the Niners are going to win. I really do.
Like your lineup's pretty close to mine with those little cheap pieces with McKinnon and Uzoma. So I'm saying it's a good little blend.
You got to differentiate yourself.
Absolutely, though. You have to pick those pieces that will blow up. Right. Like,
I think
people are going to have Jamar Chase is probably going to beat a lot of lineups. Cooper Kupp's going to be in a majority of them. But you got to find those small pieces that will pay off all their salary.
I think
there's always somebody that blows up.
I think Pringle won it for me last week with his 1 touchdown. That was like the main differential one. Whatever. You never know, right? Awesome. Can't wait to watch. Sad. Football's ending. That's sad.
We're still here. Come on.
Sad,
give me 2 more games. You know what I'm saying?
I guess we got nothing left to cover. This is it. Again, there's only 2 games. What is there to talk about? So we will probably be on next week. Are we going to be doing a Pro Bowl show, or are we going to be taking a week off? What do you guys want to do?
Pro Bowl edition, baby.
It'll just be 40 minutes of Sir bragging about his team being in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs again for the second time in, 4 years, 3 years?
Hey, I'll be okay with that. That'll be a good episode.
We can figure it out next week.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Follow us at SBFS Show. Twitter, Twitch. See you later.